Hello. This are the Master Chief again. That story that you heard before is not quite as special as this one. It all began with me walking down the street one day. I heard a noise coming from a dark alley. I saw a grunt with a ridiculously humongous dingle-dangle flopping in air. There was a little girl sitting next to him watching the dingle-dangle fly in all directions. The grunt noticed me looking at him and he proceeded to stroke the monstrous pole. All of a sudden, something red started flowing out of the dingle-dangle, something dangerously smelly. It was blood. The girl pulled a straw out of her asshole and began slurping up the fluid. The girl shipped the fluid out, where it became blue and the grunt consumed the fluid, basking in the glory of the so-called deliciousness of the fluid. The grunt then charged at me with his massive dingle-dangle. I decided to whip out mine, knowing that grunts fear dingle-dangles larger than their own, and smacked him right across the face with it. He went flying down the alley and perhaps died a couple of seconds later. Not really caring what happened to that stupid fucking piece of shit, I went up to the girl and asked what her name was. She said that her name was Christopher. I said to her, what the fuck, that's not a girl's name. I smashed my dingle-dangle onto her head and shoved it so far up her nose that the gum came out of her ears. This so-called girl was now having some sort of dramatic seizure, where her body was shaking all over the place. She then exploded and a dingle-dangle went flying out of her stomach. I recognized this dingle-dangle. It belonged to one of the brute chieftains that I had fucked up the ass from last time. I took the dingle-dangle and put it on top of my dingle-dangle. The two dingle-dangles merged and created a newer, more powerful shaft that felt so good to stroke. I began to walk outside the alley and down the street further. I saw my friend, Sergeant Forge, walking down the street. I called out to him, "Hey Forge, my dingle-dangle is twice the size of your body." I whipped out my ferocious pole and smacked him across the face with it. He dropped to the floor and died. The feces then began to come out of his dingle-dangle and urine began flowing out of his mouth. I began to realize the fucking world that I was living in, so now I attached a jetpack to my monstrous dingle-dangle and flew to planet Mars. There I saw some brutes raping a look-alike Sergeant Johnson. I couldn't believe that I was seeing that fucking piece of shit nigger asshole again. I fucked the brains out of this look-alike with the brutes and he soon died from intense internal bleeding in his orifice. I walked up to the leader brute and smacked him with my dingle-dangle. I took the jetpack off my dingle-dangle, almost forgetting it was still on it, and I burned the other brute's dingle-dangles off with the flame from the exhaust. I named myself ruler of planet Mars by sticking a flag with a dingle-dangle in it in the dirt. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to this, but now I must go and fuck some bitch from down the street.